This is what happened to Oprah's abandoned spiritual getaways, starting with the Hawaiian estate. Maui estate was supposed to be her dream retreat. She bought 163 acres of land in 2003 for $5.3 million, planning to turn it into a peaceful escape away from Hollywood. But she never moved in. Instead, she gutted the entire house and built an entirely new estate miles away. And the original farmhouse? Left abandoned. But what made Oprah walk away from a dream home she poured millions into? Locals in Maui believe Oprah's estate sits in an area with deep Hawaiian history. Some believe it was once an ancient burial ground.
We feel that our bones cannot be taken out anymore, and we're not going to allow this to happen anymore.
We speak for thousands of years of Hawaiians before and thousands to come. Regardless of what the other nationalities may think, we as Hawaiians think this is sacrilegious. It's against our traditional beliefs, and it has to stop.
Others say the land carries a spiritual energy that makes it impossible to settle on. But there's a darker side to the story. Over the years, she bought over 1,000 acres that make her one of the biggest private owners in Maui. And this step makes the locals angry.
Struggling, we're putting tax dollars together to try to do fencing and culling. We want to protect our food for food security as well as protect the watershed. So those are the big issues. And she's stepping right into the big issues.
But why? Because in 2019, wildfires ripped through Maui, right near Oprah's land. Locals were desperate to escape, but when they reached her private roads, the gates were locked. When the news spread, people were furious. How could one of the richest women in the world have locked escape routes while her neighbors ran for their lives?
So what's another way of getting people off of their land is to burn it, scorch it, or make it literally non-livable on. And I think that's what's happening in Hawaii.
This backlash hit so hard. Oprah eventually opened the gates. But for many, it was too little, too late. People didn't forget. And when another wildfire hit in 2023, Oprah faced even more criticism.
Hawaii, where wildfires have killed at least 6 people in Maui County. Violent and explosive wildfires have torn through the island of Maui, destroying homes and businesses. The fires being fueled by a hurricane 800 miles away. It erupted so suddenly people had to run into the ocean to escape the fire.
Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson donated $5 million to the wildfire victims. But when they asked the public to donate, people were outraged.
Being able to have some control when everything seems so out of control, and we're calling it the People's Fund of Maui because every dollar that you send is going to go into an account that goes directly to the people.
People were outraged. They couldn't believe 2 billionaires were asking regular people for money instead of covering it themselves. With all this controversy, Oprah's connection to Maui has become complicated. But that's just one of Oprah's abandoned retreats. Wait until you hear what happened to her secretive spiritual center in Colorado. In the early 2000s, Oprah Winfrey invested millions to establish a state-of-the-art spiritual retreat in Telluride, Colorado. It wasn't just a luxury hideaway. It was designed to be a sanctuary, a private escape where she and her inner circle could meditate, reflect, and unplug from the world. She planned everything down to the smallest detail, but then, before it could even open, she walked away. No press announcement, no explanation, just gone. And this became strange. People started asking questions. Why would Oprah pour millions into a place like this and then abandon it completely? Why was there no mention of it ever again? And what happened next made everything even stranger. A lawsuit. In 2012, a legal fight broke out over hiking trails near Oprah's land.
Getting sued by a nuclear physicist who has a vacation home in Telluride, Colorado. Oprah just bought 66 acres and is cutting off the public access to the national forest, like all the trails.
Locals had used these trails for generations, but suddenly they saw barriers and no trespassing signs.
Neighbors hike. What? All right, Oprah wants to build a new mansion in Colorado, and her neighbors are saying no because they like to hike there. And she's saying, no, honey, you will not be hiking.
Many believe Oprah's team put them up to keep the area private. In just a few days, anger spread fast. People accused Oprah of blocking public access to nature, turning open land into an exclusive playground for the rich. It went against everything she claimed to stand for: generosity, community, connection. For many, Oprah had become just another billionaire, taking land that wasn't hers. Some say this was the final straw. Oprah was already struggling with the retreat's challenges, and now the land dispute made things worse. And because of this, she walked away. But Oprah didn't just leave behind this one sanctuary, because the next retreat she abandoned, it raises even more questions. Oprah Winfrey's Montecito estate, known as the Promised Land, was once her ultimate retreat. The 70-acre escape tucked away in the hills of California, far from the chaos of Hollywood. For years, she called it her sanctuary, a place where she could walk through her gardens, sip tea in silence, and disconnect from everything. But something changed. In 2018, a massive mudslide hit the area that killed 23 people and destroyed many homes.
While they were sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning, a massive wall of water, debris, and mud came roaring down this creek. And if we look over here at the home right next to it, you can see how high the mud came.
Oprah's property was also badly affected. Her backyard was buried in mud and debris. She even went on TV, standing in the wreckage, showing how close the disaster came to her front door.
How deep the mud is. And the house in back is gone.
But that was just the beginning. In 2023, the area was hit by more extreme storms that forced evacuations.
Right across from the Montecito Inn here on Coast Village Road, it is getting wet. The gutters are filling up with rain. It is windy and much colder than earlier. Fortunately, earlier there was a break from the heavy rain and people got to sandbag and they also got to evacuate safely.
Lately, Oprah has been spending less and less time at the estate. Locals say she's rarely seen there anymore. And in 2023, she quietly started selling off pieces of it. 14 acres went to actor Jeff Bridges, and she even let go of a Tuscan-style farmhouse that had been part of her retreat. But why would Oprah start letting go of the place she once cherished? Montecito was once Oprah's private escape. Now, it's a billionaire circus. Paparazzi swarm, drones hover, celebrities flood in: Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Ellen, Katy Perry. Privacy is gone. Oprah built her empire by controlling everything, including her image. But Montecito? It's slipping from her grip. She still owns the mansion, but her presence is fading. But Montecito isn't the only place she's distanced herself from. Because the New Age school she funded in Sedona, that one didn't just fade away. It left behind controversy, unanswered questions, and a disappearance Oprah has never explained. Once hailed as the future of spiritual enlightenment, Oprah's Sedona retreat opened in the early 2000s, only to be forgotten just years later. With her name attached, people saw it as a path to enlightenment.
So I know who you are. I know why you are here, and I'm happy to have you here because this is a week for all of you who have spent your lives giving of yourself, of your time, of your energy.
They paid thousands for courses, workshops, and exclusive memberships, believing they were unlocking some higher truth. And behind it all, Oprah was cashing in, whether through direct investments, backroom deals, or the sheer influence it gave her over the self-help industry. She wasn't just a supporter. She was in on it. Then, just as fast as she built it up, she abandoned it. No warning, no apology, just silence. The retreat collapsed without her, leaving behind disillusioned followers who had poured their savings into a dream that no longer existed. But Oprah? She simply moved on, as if none of it ever happened. She never explained why, never took responsibility, never acknowledged the people who lost money chasing something she told them was life-changing. So was she fooled by the retreat? Or did she know exactly what she was doing from the start? One thing is clear, when Oprah is done with something, she doesn't just walk away. She makes sure the mess stays behind, far away from her name. Oprah created spiritual retreats and sanctuaries, places meant for healing, peace, and change. But one by one, she walked away, from luxury estates to wellness centers that faded into obscurity. Whether it was controversy, changing priorities, or something else, these places are now just forgotten pieces of her past, left behind, without explanation. What do you think made Oprah abandon these retreats? Was it personal growth, controversy, or something deeper? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to check out my recent video.